when nature talks, I'm not supposed to hear.
Where you want to preserve things, but most of all, I want that there's a big palette of ingredients to cook with. I think this is what we're going on. I want a big palette of ingredients to cook with. You know, I want 10 types of cabbages to choose from. I want 15 types of lettuces because it will be better for the guests. They will eat, see more interesting things. We will have more things to cook with. And Michel Bras, he explains it in a more poetic way. He says that I need more letters in my vocabulary. The more letters, the bigger the sentences, the stronger the language. And I think that's an amazing way of looking at it. So you need to be a part of that to make sure that agriculture is healthy, nature is preserved, so that we have enough letters in our vocabulary. Not a mission, but I think that no mission. No, my mission is to cook food.
Yeah.
But I think that well, I know that most of my colleagues, if we had the right knowledge, a lot of people would actually also, I'm sure, take a bigger part in this if they had the knowledge. But I mean, nobody. We go to school and we learn this technique of doing the holidays, you know, or birthdays. Nobody tells us that how important it is to support small local farmers.
Is that changing in Denmark now?
This is changing. Yeah, this is changing. This is not in school, but it's changing in the way that chefs are talking to each other. This actually, well, we did one thing this August. We held a festival called the MAD Festival. MAD in Danish is food, but we like the double meaning. And there was a symposium for 300 food professionals. There was a few people here that was there. And the idea of that festival and that symposium was simply to have a forum where we, the chefs, could educate ourselves further. Not as a religious or as a mission statement. Just let's see if we can pass on information.
Amongst each other.
Yeah, amongst each other. Let's see if we can have a forum where we teach ourselves new things. And for instance, there was many super inspirational speaks, but one of them, which is a way of realizing that you as a cook, the choices you make actually has an impact. And that was when a guy called Hans Herren, he went on stage. Hans Herren, he is the leader of the Millennium Institute, which is they research the future. And he's a wonderful inspirational guy. He's Swiss, lives in America, in Washington, D.C. And they have made a study for the UN, a 3-year study on the future of agriculture and that type of sustainability. And you know, I've heard this from biodynamic farmers, from the hippies for years, that you know, we need to work small, localized. But people, you know, once the hippies say it, it's, you know, it's like hippie talk. It's not, but what is the reality? Suddenly you have science saying that you know, they studied how are we to feed 9 billion people in 50 years. And the result of their whole study was that there needs to be a huge change in agriculture systems. You need to learn people how to use small, localized, organic farm systems. So for me, that's a mega inspiration, because as a cook, you know, you're kind of the first frontier. You don't need to change a lot. You know, you just need to show that this can be a reality, not a theory. And it's not like as if you're on a mission. You just try to source locally, you know, from farmers that want a healthy soil with healthy seeds. And for me, the food is also more fresh. You know, it's simply, I think that they're better. The asparagus harvest 6 o'clock in the morning compared to the one harvested 4 days ago. I think there's a mega difference.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
total sense.
This is the farm. This is where the chickens live. They walk around freely. They live off seeds, off plants. They walk around picking all these things. They even once in a while eat a snail. So, and this is again a technique that we used a lot that has been very, very useful for us. We look at this fantastic ingredient, which in this case is the egg. The egg is the best egg I've ever had. And then we simply just look around it. And when I mean around it, it's 10 meters around it for the inspiration. And if you kind of know what's edible and what's not, then there is actually quite a lot of food things to do. So in this case, it's all these plants. You see them? The chicken lays its egg in hay. You see the hay on the plate. Can you just turn pause for a second? Yeah. So this dish is actually, it's a little interactive for the guests because of hay. And then next to it was another plate with ingredients, and then there was some hay oil and so on. So what we do is that we have this hay, and then we put a sizzling hot pan on there.
This is on the table.
This is on the table. And then of course what happens is that this pan releases all the aroma of the hay. So it's just amazing, and all these wonderful haze just completely releases and somehow a lot of people it's almost childish because they have some childish memory of hay or running around in stables or something. And then I guess they sit there, and then they're instructed what to do. We also do this because kind of to show how simple it is. That you know, somehow there shouldn't be any bad restaurants because there's too many good ingredients.
Good quote.
There really is, and this is a perfect example of it. People love this dish, and it's extraordinarily simple. It is some of the freshest eggs from a very, very good variety of chicken, with a little bit of an idea behind it, and then other very good ingredients. Let's press play again. So we check it for the heat. Good. That's the guest. They open that themselves. And
everybody's got his own little plate.
Everybody's got his own little plate, and you can imagine how a big group of businessmen having a building. They cook their own plants. A sauce is poured over a plate of the same plants. There's quite a green tone. All the flowers and other plants are poured on as well. So it's like the idea of something that's truly farm fresh, if you make a piece of that, and then a bit of crisp on the side. And then it's funny. One thing that's amazed me about this is people that are used to cooking it, they get so nervous. You know, they're kind of like, hey, I did it at the end. You know. But what is mostly amazing is how few people that actually cooked, or how many people that's never cooked that egg before in their life. You would be shocked if you realize how many people that hasn't cracked an egg onto a pan. It is really, really shocking, actually. And there it is, you know, it's super simple and very, 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 very basic. We can do another one. What is the one after that? Asparagus, let's take that one.
And then I think after the asparagus, because I already got the sign.
Okay.
We have maybe a few questions for you.
Asparagus and spruce, again, I choose a lot of these videos because you see the asparagus growing in this very sandy soil. It's in a special region of just outside Copenhagen. And you see there, next to the asparagus fields, you have spruce, or Christmas tree, some would call it. And that is simply the idea of the dish. And in early spring, the Christmas tree it has young, tender needles, and we harvest them. So we take the green asparagus, we grill them, and then we juice them. And then the sauce that comes out of that is just pure magic.
You juice them warm.
We juice them warm, that's important. And then you have a vegetarian sauce that's just unbelievable. It's as if something magical happened to it. It really, really becomes like you've added stock to it or something. We take the white asparagus, we tie them around a branch of spruce, and then we grill it. What happens is that with the heat, all this resin and aroma of the spruce, which is very citrusy, some of it tastes like grape actually, infuses with the asparagus. And then, so the idea is that we have two types of asparagus. On top of that, we had a bit of spruce salt. We pour on a bit of the young tender leaves. You can see they're completely tender.
There's plenty of that, I guess.
Plenty, yeah. And then this asparagus sauce with a little touch of whipped cream to go with it.
Cool.
But also another.
We never were close. I let the feeling go.